Good morning. It's Thursday, March 6th, about 6 a.m. Central Time. I'm Philip Streible, Chief Market Strategist at Blue Line Futures. Let's get you ready for the trading day here. So overnight, the roller coaster ride continues in these markets. Looking at yesterday, we had a couple different things come out that really caused volatility in the markets. One was the ADP payroll data coming at a big miss. It was the lowest level since last July. And then finally, Trump was set to delay the Canada and Mexico tariffs, at least on autos, for 1 month. So the move saw Treasury yields shift to the lowest level in 1 year, and we saw a lot of concerns about a slowdown in the economy and the Fed considering cutting rates multiple times this year. So we saw a big relief rally into the close. Now, taking a quick look at the U.S. equity markets overnight, you do have the S&P 500 down 55 points at 57.95. A key level to throw up on the charts here, look at a daily chart in the S&P 500, go back quite far, and you'll see that 200-day exponential moving average market came down twice and touched that, and the last time was about 2 sessions ago. And what we saw here was a big boost and a big relief rally in that market. I think a lot of wealth advisors have a lot of dry powder on the sidelines and are looking for these key technical levels as we're seeing some of the valuations come down, especially in the tech sector and some of these large financial companies here that people want to get exposure to. Now, looking at the overnight price action in the gold market, we do have gold futures 29.12 down about 13 bucks. Overnight high was about the start of the overnight session here, 29.35.90. Low of the session, 28.97.60. We did briefly dip below that 2900 level. I think your critical level of support here, your pivot point's going to be about 29.05. The overnight low, 28.97, and then below that, your support too is 28.85. Your resistance point on the gold market is going to be that overnight high, followed by pocket resistance, 29.43 on up to 29.50. The silver market, I'll put those numbers in the Metals Edge. If you don't get that, shoot us an email here, info@Blue Line Futures. We can get you set up here. We can get you also a trading account set up as well. So looking at that overnight price action in silver, $33.03, down about 10 cents here. We are holding the 33 level, starting to push up, and it's really that copper market that helps support the silver market as that big move higher happened yesterday in the silver market. Platinum futures sit at 972, and then palladium futures 947. Gold silver ratio nicely coming down to 88 to 1. 86 to 1 gets silver a little bit stretched here in recent times over the last couple weeks. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that level. Seems like 88 to 86, 90 to 92, those are two levels here where we're kind of being more selectful or mindful whether we're adding gold or adding silver. So if you look at that, ETF buys on gold and silver, so exchange traded funds, they did add about 135,000 ounces of gold to their holdings in the last trading session, bringing this year's net purchases up to 3.04 million ounces. We saw silver, they cut a lot of those holdings here in yesterday's trading session, and I think it's because of the fact if you start drawing a trend line, you look at a recent top and then you look at that candle that we filled, that empty wick from that explosive rally on Friday, a lot of people were lightening up on that. They're just playing the technicals. Remember, there's not a lot of people that are in this silver market specifically for holding out for the 36, the 38, the 40, and the $50 level. They're only in this game here to make some money. So some headlines that I'm following here, obviously keeping an eye on the copper market, 480, that resistance point, seeing if we can get up to that $5 level. Back on silver, it did climb to a 1-week high. It rose 1.9% yesterday, and it was its third straight day. So we'll see if it can turn around, get positive, and end the week on a positive note. A lot of times when you get this big movement up on Friday, it's either a big rug pull or we close on the high of the session. Remember, we are going to have jobs data coming out here. So looking at the agricultural market, and this is something I want to touch base on because the ags have really been on this bloodbath here and this sell-off here. Trump did weigh on some carve-outs here for agricultural commodities from Mexico and Canada, and he's considering exempting certain products there. This sparked a lot of outrage because of the fact that if you look at some of the key commodities that we bring in, especially on the agricultural front from Mexico, those things are short dated shelf life commodities. And what's happening is that there's a lot of people talking about Trump wanting to bring inflation down, and they're saying that this is going to build inflation up, because if you bring over something like an avocado, it has just such a limited shelf life here, and if it takes any kind of delay for that to come in here, you're going to see those things spoil, and it's going to really drive prices higher on any of those key kind of commodities. So it's the short nature commodities that he is looking at exempting in some of these tariffs. Now, a market that is on my radar back in the ag space here, look at a daily chart on the wheat market here. Looks like it could have put in a technical bottom after a washout, and India's wheat output is set to stay flat here, keeping those stockpiles tight. So the expectations for production right around 106 million tons. It's the rising temperatures in India that really threaten a lot of the crop here and the dryness across the area. Getting to the energy markets here, crude oil futures seeing a 3-year low, so it's getting some headlines. Now, if you don't follow Trump on Twitter and Truth Social, he really came out with this hard stance here on Hamas, saying that basically they need to release those hostages now and the dead bodies that they have, questioning why they even keep dead bodies and things like that. Why wouldn't they just give them back to, the appropriate people? So he came out with this extremely hard stance on them. And remember, they are all backed and everything indirectly by Iran. And you could start to see these tensions rise. So crude oil futures, another market along with that wheat that we're keeping on our radar. Now, we are going to look at positioning again in that gold and silver market. Silver, key levels a bit lower. Gold futures right around that 29.05 on down to about 28.85, and then looking for that relief rally back on up. Your critical level for a trend reversal point is you do need to see that gold market really close over that 29.35 to 40 level and challenge 50, where it could go on up to 1-month highs and 52-week highs at 29.74. Again, on silver, you really need to see that close over 33.42 in order to break futures back out, and it really takes it to a neutral level. It's when you get over $34 is when you get that bullish momentum really coming into play and the chasers coming back into the market. I'll be on the Schwab Network here later on today at 2:40, so not the usual Friday spot, pushing it on over to Thursday here, trying to get out on these Fridays earlier. Got a new house that I'm renovating, and it's quite a big project here that we are tackling. So you got any questions on futures option trading, give us a call, 312-858-7303. Go to bluelinefutures.com. We are working on a portal where we're going to add a lot more precious metals, details, reports, things like that. These are things we are not emailing out. We are not opening up to the public. It is going to be behind that wall there that you're going to log into, as well as all the research reports that we put out by Blue Line Futures. Again, you got any questions, give us a call. Remember that futures and option trading, it does involve risk of loss, and it may not be suitable to all investors. Good luck, good trading.